Hello! What is up, dear friends? Oh my goodness. People asking to be my intern. Am I asking or are you asking? Someone's asking. Um, yes, hype, hype, hype. And we are late. There's nothing at work tonight. Yeah, that's right. You have the other shift there. Um, How's it going, friends? Welcome to the Side Quest, your wonderful, beautiful weekly-ish world of video or journey into the world of video games. We recorded on Sunday, and now it's Thursday, twice in 1 week. We're still kind of catching up from the new year, but there's a very special reason, obviously, that we're recording. I am maybe the only one recording this week, but whatever. Um, First and foremost, I want to thank our amazing Patreon members. That would be the executives, Tom Johnson and Punctified. Thank you for being executives. You guys are truly wonderful people. And yeah, we love you. You are the top tier of humanity. And then there's a few other folks that are also pretty decent, I guess. The producers, Stefan Swanland, Zero the Prototype, Exagenous, and Jeff Grubb. Thank you for being producers on the SideQuest, helping make this project tick. I'm Dolly Domofsky. I am as you can see down there, the Lions playoff boy because the Lions are in the playoffs of the NFL. Our first game is Friday, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Don't mind the lights behind me. I just kind of moved a lamp over, floor lamp from one of the other rooms into here and kind of left it. Maybe it looks kind of cool. Maybe I'll throw some color in there. That'll be the next thing. I've actually got to figure this out because this is my actual look here, but I think I'm so high up. You're almost looking up my nostrils. So I gotta let's see if I can lower myself and get. Oh, there you go. A little bit better. Somewhat normal. Maybe I'll put the camera on a stand a little bit higher up. That could work. That way I'm you're not staring down at me and or staring up at me, whatever. SideQuesting.com. Make sure you guys check it out. Hop into the Discord and join the crew there because everybody is really wonderful in the SideQuesting Discord. We chat a lot. We have a good time, and that's what really community is all about. We've had a lot of fun in there the last few weeks. A few of us actually got together. I think I mentioned it maybe on Sunday. I'm not sure. A few of us got together on Sunday and had a good old time and in person. And if you're local to somebody in the side questing area, we'll get together. And that's everywhere around the U.S. We are everywhere. We are Legion. But the real reason I'm getting together is we're going to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2. Guess what, everybody? It's real. It really is. Wait. Before then, I do want to mention one quick thing. Rest in peace to David Lynch. Passed away today. Super influential, incredible artist, and someone who has influenced movies, music, television, video games, art of all kinds. And yeah, pour one out for David Lynch. Just an awesome creative individual, and whose his life and his work, the ramifications are felt throughout every industry and throughout many people. So yeah, sad loss. He was 78. But let's get into some other news. Good news, I guess. The Switch 2. You guys heard of it? I've heard of it. Let's play this video. There we go. I'm gonna play the trailer in the background. We can chat about it while it's playing. So yeah, Nintendo, as has been rumored for a couple weeks now, especially end of last week, beginning of this week, that there was going to be some Nintendo Switch presentation taking place this week. On Thursday was the day, and it happened today, Thursday. There was no message or post the night before like Nintendo typically does, but they just kind of went ahead and posted and said, yeah, here it is. Here's the device. They called it a special announcement or whatever. And And there it is, the Switch Duo, the Switch Tua, as some might say. Now, if you listen to the SideQuest, you'll know that we have been saying that this is probably the week, either this week or the last week of January, that it was going to be nuts. More than likely this week. We actually had the 15th kind of circled as a Wednesday, just because it's Friday in Japan right now, so it would have been really late for them on a Thursday night. So we figured maybe Wednesday. But this is on a Thursday, so we were off by a day, but we kind of figured this would be the time frame. So, the Switch 2, yeah. This is the video that Nintendo dropped. It is a slightly bigger screen, and I'm gonna let this kind of loop as we're chatting. Go ahead and drop comments in there, and we'll go ahead and I will try to address them. But it's bigger screen, bigger Joy-Con. It's got a new stand in the background, in the back, magnetically attached on the side, new dock. Essentially, every single thing on this leaked, or the majority of things on at least how this looks leaked. And so it's not a huge surprise. I think that had it not leaked, over the last, especially the last month and a half, this would have come as a pretty big event regardless. But I think we saw a lot of it already over the last month and a half that wasn't as surprising. But it's here. Obviously, they're not talking power. We'll get into the games in a little bit, but let's go over the details. So first and foremost, like we said, bigger screen. I think it's meant to be a little bit bigger than the OLED screen. Now, I don't know if this is LCD or OLED. I do know that there is a sort of light sensor bar on light sensor on top. The previous LCD screen had the light sensor on the bottom on the front face of it. So they moved it to the top for the OLED. Looks like they've kept it here for packaging sake. So you look at the actual device. The Joy-Con are the big thing, right? So you got bigger Joy-Con now. You've got that extra button that no one's talking about. These are slightly more ergonomic Joy-Con. They have that little kind of rounded edge, little not quite a chamfer, but just a good softness to it. You can kind of see the highlight there, which as a designer, I really appreciate. So I'm scooping my chair. I really appreciate just a little bit of a human touch. Got bigger L and R buttons. That's always helpful. I love the color accents. You have the blue and you have the orange, and they're sort of slightly. They're not super popping colors. Yeah, quality surfaces. Anybody who knows about surfacing knows those are some great surfacing there. Yeah, much better than that PlayStation thing. They got the color accents. Let me rewind this just a smidge here. Boop, and I'm gonna pause it. So there you go. I'm gonna point to a few things here. You got the blue on the inner side of the Switch 2. On the screen aspect is also the light blue. On the opposite side, you have the orange on the sort of attachment, and then the light blue or the orange on that side as well. Anybody who has helped somebody set up a Switch or watched somebody use the Switch the first time and saw how they were trying to attach the Joy-Con, you could slide it down those rails the wrong way. And I have seen several people put the Joy-Con on there upside down and jam the Joy-Con in there and then wonder why it won't come out. I did it when I first got the OG Switch back in 2017. So I can sympathize with people for that happening. But going at the color, I think is terrific because it's not going to cost that much more. Anybody who knows about plastic, the color actually does cost a little, but especially when you're trying to manage parts, But from a user interface standpoint, it is fantastic because now the blue always goes to the blue, orange always goes to the orange, and it's a very visible thing. And I think from an accessibility, these are, don't quote me on it, these are two colors that might be better than red and blue or red and green or whatever. So I think this is just better overall to do it this way. And you see the little blue around the joystick, the actual analog stick right here too. Again, in case you're not looking at the you're not looking at this bar, you have this little blue highlight to let you know that this is the side that this goes on the left and the other side goes on the right every time. I think that's actually very smart of them to do it. Again, it's magnetic. This is the little pin that pushes it. Maybe this is the pin that pushes it. I don't know for sure. These are magnets on the side. It's magnetic, but it does hook in. It does snap in. So it is a functional physical snap. It's not like you can shake this thing and they'll pop off. Because just magnets, you'd need an incredibly powerful magnet to prevent that from happening. So these do physically lock, but they lock in now from the side. And I'm curious if it's going to be, if you're still going to have the snap, or if it goes to something like a clap, because that is sort of what it's doing, sort of clapping on the side there. Maybe that's what they're going to do to help differentiate it. And then you can see, oh, what's that? That is so this is the attachment now. Instead of the just the rail system, like that copperish rail that attaches everything, you now have an actual physical. So this is partly the lock, and this is also the point that will help feed data back and forth through the switch to the Joy-Con. And you have the optical sensor right there as well. This is sort of, remember, this is the sync button between these. So there's a lot of interesting aspects to this. We're not seeing the infrared sensor on the bottom, so I'm curious if that's still included in NFC. I'm going to assume both of them still are. Nobody really used the infrared sensor, only a couple times. I think like 1-2 Switch used it, and the Labo game and a couple other things did, but whatever. That optical sensor is what I'm most interested in, for the reason you will see in a second here, in that click, and just like actual little mice, look at that, look how cute this guy is. It is able to be used as a mouse. So both controllers are, both sides are. And I was holding, just as a test, I flipped the Switch Joy-Con on the side myself, and I thought, why haven't I never used it like that? It's actually pretty interesting. It feels, it's actually pretty natural to do it that way. So this is great because now they don't flat out say it can be used as a mouse, but they're clearly showing it here. It's the Nintendo Touch that says this is a little mouse. It's got a little tail, little waggle tail at the end, and you are meant to slide it around. And yes, it can play Doom the right way. I will not be surprised. So Microsoft is having their event next week. We might hear Doom might also be coming now to the Switch 2. We'll talk about games in a second there, but yeah, there's so many things you can do with this. You could do FPS games. I'm going to say Splatoon 4 is going to be able to use the mouse capability. Third-party mice, I'm sure are going to now be a thing, which that opens up a whole different aspect for the for turning this Switch into a much better, I don't want to say computer-ish thing, but definitely allows for a lot of interest. I'll be doing the check it out, everybody. But I'm gonna be the kind of person that probably has one Joy-Con on my leg and the other using the other for the WASD, the arrow keys. So, but it's cool. It's such a neat little thing that really could revolutionize a lot of, or bring in a lot of new games, or at least offer up accessibility for a lot of games. From an accessibility standpoint, Nintendo now has touchscreen. They have capacitive touchscreen. They have sticks. They have the buttons, and now they have a mouse. So you have at least 4 ways that you can interact with games and control games. That's actually really cool. The more, these Joy-Con are becoming more and more interesting from that standpoint, right? So more powerful, I guess. But doing the mouse, Civ 7 is coming out for the Switch. I'd imagine now the Switch 2 version will be able to be used as a mouse. Mario Maker, Mario Paint, all that kind of stuff. There's going to be a big creative push that you could do now with the Switch. You could turn the Switch into sort of a personal, a portable creative device. There has been no leak. There was a leak about the Hall Effect joystick. They haven't been talking about it, but I believe that they're correct. I believe that they probably are Hall Effect joystick. If Nintendo's going all in on magnets, then maybe that's the giveaway there. But having Hall Effect is really going to limit the issues that we're having. I've already replaced the sticks on my Joy-Con a couple times already. So on a couple of the Joy-Con and my daughter's Switch Lite, that was fun taking the whole thing apart. But yeah, Hall Effect. Still gonna have the rumble. The right Joy-Con has that button that we don't quite know what it is yet. It was labeled as a C button in other. Let me go to this guy here. Here we go. It was labeled as a C button in some other, kind of the pre-release leaks, but it doesn't have anything on it here. And I think it doesn't have anything on it here because Nintendo doesn't want to show that functionality yet until they have their full Switch reveal, right? That's coming up, and we'll talk about that in a second too. But so that's the Joy-Con, and I'm sure there's more stuff built into this that we'll find out about soon. But I think just turning these suckers into mice, I think, is such a cool way to do it. I mean, you will literally have mouse and keyboard WASD and mouse capabilities now, or have two people be able to use mice. And they show them racing around here. You can have maybe a racing game can be used for some weird reason with mice racing around on a table, right? Maybe you can do some fun kind of mousetrap games that are capable. So are coming, but that's that. Look at that. They snap on the side. They clap. The Switch 2 has the clap, and it is the Switch 2. That's the official logo. Very nice little cool little renders here. Then we find out, this has a game that they wanted to showcase. And initially everyone's like, okay, it's just a Mario Kart. And then wait a minute. This is not a new Mario. This is not an old Mario Kart. They purposefully kept this Mario Kart. I'm going to pause this. Boop. They purposefully kept the Mario Kart. We'll talk about games now. This area kind of bland, but there are some things that we can definitely notice. One is it's wide. It's got 4 lanes here. Typically, it's 2 lanes in these Mario Kart games. Now you get 4 full lanes. You can see, possibly the carts to kind of go off and into the little Yoshi Mart here in the back. Is this an open world style Mario Kart game? Maybe. I don't know. That would revolutionize the Mario Kart for sure. But you also see at one point 24, like you see a bunch there. You see 24. Let's see if there's another shot of it. Yeah, it's coming up here. You can see 24 spots. There you go. I went past it, but there's 24 spots here. That could lead to some incredible chaos and a lot of fun, because imagine if you got the blue shell and typically you'll be in like 8th position or 12th position or something. But what if you're in 12th or 15th or 17th position and the person behind you has the blue? I mean, it's just, they're throwing like lightning everywhere. They're throwing green. I mean, there could be some pretty awesome stuff happening. So, I love me some Mario Kart. Certainly feels like this could be one of the launch games for the device. They didn't give a launch date. They just said 2025. But I think you show off Mario Kart like this, and I think this is a launch game. Myself, I also think you're going to start to see they have a new something that the people were talking. The folk in our Discord. Why you should join the Discord is that Donkey Kong is a new design. Check that out. They've gone towards the movie style, which is, and a lot of the characters are based on some of the original cartoons, original sketches and stuff. I think that's really cool. They're really going into the stylized aspect of Mario, and I think that is fantastic. So, this has and we're just seeing some of the Mario Kart characters we know. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more that are popping up over the time. I mean, you can't see a lot of them there, but Yoshi is there, Toad. Switch to 2025. You'll be able to play classic Switch games as well as Switch to exclusive games. It says they got the little asterisk that says Not everything's compatible. Remember the Labo and Ring Fit Adventure, you had to use the Joy-Con as is because they snap in specific to those kind of the extra hardware. But you can't obviously use that same Joy-Con to fit the hardware with the Switch 2, I guess. So you'll probably see. I don't think you'll see Switch 2 Labo, but I'm sure you'll see. There'll be Switch 2 Ring Fit Adventure because Ring Fit Adventure rocks. But the other aspect is maybe the Switch 2 can be. You can use the Switch 1 Joy-Con. They're just Bluetooth, so they should be able to attach, connect to the sucker. That's one thing I didn't also mention is that there is a new USB-C port on top, which is a really cool feature for connectivity. One thing, when the device is in that tabletop mode, you can't charge it. So maybe having a USB-C port on top now allows you to charge it when you're in tabletop mode, but also allows you to put attachments on there because that USB-C port is now visible. It's available when the Switch is docked. You see there's like a light vignette of the dock switch over there. So in a little bit here, that can be for anything: cameras, microphones, other devices. Who knows? But I think having that USB-C port on top is actually really cool. Just from that little detail of being able to charge it in tabletop mode, I think is pretty good. Look, when you're on a plane, as we are, and that's when we use the tabletop mode most. So that's the hardware. Game-wise, again, they only showed Mario Kart, new Mario Kart game. It's got to be Mario Kart 10 because I think technically Nintendo refers to the mobile game as Mario Kart, Mario Kart World Tour as Mario Kart 9. So I think Mario Kart 10 is the next one. Mario Kart Live doesn't really count. That's the game that was just indoors because it was so small in scale and it relied on cameras. It wasn't like a real traditional Mario Kart game. So 2025, they're going to have it'll be able to play Switch exclusive games and original Switch games. I'm going to guess that Metroid Prime 4 will launch for the Switch and the Switch 2. It'll be a cross-gen game, so you'll have it on both. I think that's a cross-gen game. And I think Mario Kart will launch probably in that same time frame, maybe that week or a couple weeks or whatever. And that will be the big launch title that's exclusive to the Switch 2. So that way, folks who are just getting the Switch 2 will have two games that are designed for it. One which is definitely exclusive, and I think you'll probably see, just like they had 1-2 Switch at launch with the original Switch. I think you'll see something that's sort of the casual game, but that will use the mouse aspect as well. Maybe it's like a mini game collection. Maybe it is a Mario Paint. Maybe it's something creative like that. I also think Metroid Prime 4, the version for the Switch 2 that comes out, will be able to use the mouse functionality for the Switch 2. Now that could really be a game changer for the Metroid Prime games. Granted, a lot of them have been hacked to work that way on PC. Kudos to everybody that's done it, but now you will actually have that officially from Nintendo. So personally, I think those are the three games. I think we'll get a 3D Mario by the end of the year, and probably get an RPG in there. I know there's rumors of a Switch specific Nintendo Direct happening sometime in February, like beginning of February, and then there's the Pokemon Direct supposedly happening towards the end of the month for Pokemon Day. And I think all that stuff is technically still just for the OG Switch. So Nintendo did announce that on April 2nd, there will be a Switch 2 specific Direct. So after all that stuff is out of the way, here we go. You're going to find out all about the Switch 2, all the games, all the functionality, the online stuff will be revealed on that day. So that'll probably be a very meaty presentation because we're going to find out all the launch stuff. It'll be full of everything. And we can speculate until then. There you go. April 2nd. Sorry. We'll speculate until then, which will be a lot of fun. By the way, that week leading up to that is going to be full because April Fools is like the day before. It's going to be full of April Fool jokes and really bad fake Nintendo Switch 2 news. So I have a feeling that's going to suck in some way. But yeah, we'll find out more. They are going to have a sort of like a mini tour around different cities around the world throughout April and May. It's April in the US, May in like Europe and Australia and Asia. What that means for launch time frame, I'm not 100% sure. I think if they're going to do the full presentation at the beginning of April, I'm going to guess that the Switch 2 is likely launching end of May or beginning of June. Right around the time kids are getting out of school, maybe mid-June. So and that may be where they have, they may have the Switch 2 launching right after they have their annual June Direct. So we may see a big Switch presentation on launch stuff in April with functionality and everything, and then in June, mid-June, the week before the Switch 2, or June, the week before the Switch 2 launches in mid-June, we might have here are the games that are coming the rest of the year. Here's Mario. Here's Splatoon 4 or ARMS 2 or whatever. So I think we'll probably find out more then. That seems like a more likely time frame. So summer money. We'll see. Pre-orders will probably go live on April 2nd, right after Nintendo showcases the full functionality of this. And that's it. That's the Switch 2 stuff. I don't know if you guys are excited. Again, everything was revealed in leaks, but now that we actually see it, you can start to come up with some sort of ideas that are a little bit more realistic, and I think that's really cool. I'm curious to see what they do with the mouse. I think there's so many cool things you can do with the mouse functionality alone. Having this thing with you is going to really turn it into a creative kind of fun project. So you're going to see a lot of sketching and art apps, and I'd love Mario Maker 3 or Mario Maker Deluxe or something to come out where you can actually make games, or maybe that's where the Zelda games going to come out. You know what? Skyrim port. Well, maybe not Skyrim, but would you take Oblivion? Because that's one of the rumors floating around, is that Oblivion's getting a brand new port, and that could very well be coming to the Switch 2. So we'll find out during the Microsoft thing next Thursday. Switch 2, man. There it is. Minimal information. They just showed the box. They just showed an empty piece of hardware, but it's got everybody hyped. I do like, because it is bigger, I do like that I have kind of meaty hands. I got mitts, so it'll fit better in my hand. I think for some taller folk, especially, who've had issues with the Switch's diminutive size, I think that's going to be good for them. So, let me know what you guys think. Let us know. Hop into the Discord, and definitely feel free to leave your comments in there. There were some great predictions. We were doing some last-second Switch 2 predictions, and a lot of folks were coming up with some real interesting stuff. I was going to put an article together, but nobody was really, putting the effort into it. And I didn't want to take all the kudos or blame when everything was wrong. But I think some of the stuff that folks were talking about were let's see, that new button, that C button, maybe is sort of a chat button or community button. There's rumors that it's like Campus is what it might be called, but essentially that's their built-in chat system now. Nintendo actually is going to start talking about, or start including, voice chat and party chat and things like that, making the Switch 2 much more of a multiplayer and community interaction based thing. Jake says, better IR camera, better battery life, HD Rumble 2.0, Hall effect joysticks, better speakers maybe. And he also says, new menu interface, and eShop interface. Totally need those. Definitely need new menu interface, new eShop interface, because those are so aging. I'd love a third theme. JJ says a third background color to pick. Johnny says his actual prediction is still having a very bad online system, um, which you know can never tell with Nintendo. They're going to continue having the retro gaming catalog, but he says online gaming will still have no voice support. So I'm very curious to see if this new C button, which is community, will have some type of voice support. That was one of the biggest issues the Switch had, was not being able to plug in a mic. You had to use the dumb app, or hop into Discord or whatever. I'd love if those are actually things like that were actually built into the device. And now it seems like it with the actual secondary USB attachment, USB-C attachment area, that you'll be able to do that. Maybe you can actually put in a really nice, or put in a microphone or a camera or something and actually talk to people. So, let's see. There were a couple other predictions that I want to do. Quest, Zach says it's going to have Animal Crossing at lunch, so they can showcase their new phone and console integration. And also because the game will move a shit ton of units. That is, it's been 5 years since Animal Crossing, and it doesn't seem like it's been that long. It's been 5 years since Animal Crossing. Like, was it 6 or 7 years since Super Smash Brothers Ultimate? So quite a bit of stuff there. A new Animal Crossing game, especially with the mouse controls, would do numbers. Maybe instead of Mario, that's their big holiday game. I don't know. I don't think at launch, but could be. I think maybe we're gonna get a Splatoon 4 tease for maybe 2026, but maybe that comes as like that, like I said, that sort of June-ish direct, because I think they're going to focus just on launch titles in April. So, and then Jake again says the fact that they canceled pre-orders of Metro Prime 4 means maybe it's cross-gen. Maybe there's a price increase. Yeah, the initial pre-orders for Metro Prime 4 were like $60 and probably going up to $70. So that'll be that second Nintendo $70 game. And then, yeah, Stefan says maybe we'll finally get Kid Icarus Uprising. I mean, it'll work with that mouse. That'd be kind of cool. Especially you can do the DS games now. Maybe that's a good one. DS games and 3DS games can finally be like natively played on the Switch without having to use IR controls on your TV screen, right? Or not having to use pointer controls. You can actually just use the mouse and click around on stuff. So I think that could be kind of interesting, especially if there were rumors that the Switch 2 can sort of beam to the dock when it's not docked, so you can actually use two screens. You can use your Switch 2 and you can use a TV screen, and that's a way to kind of do two screens for Switch gaming. Maybe that's what the phone aspect's going to be, that if you don't have your TV, you can actually log into the Nintendo Switch app on your phone, or the Nintendo app on your phone, and that becomes the second screen for DS style gaming if you're in portable mode or something. Stefan also has a new Punch Out game. That'd be kind of fun. Maybe he said holding it like more like brass knuckles. Punch Out for the Wii was great. That game's like almost, God, it's kind of be coming up on almost 20 years old now, right? Was that like 09? Shoot, man, 15 plus years. And then JJ chimed in with like Arms cross Punch Out that was always a dream. Arms and Punch Out, that'd be so good. And then Zero actually had a prediction. He said, "Do you think Nintendo?" He said, "It's the opposite of Johnny. Thinks Nintendo might actually have figured out online this whole time, and they're going to come out with a Nintendo Connect. Maybe that's what the C button is. Connect. I like Connect. That is smart actually. Connect. Focus on interconnected devices, local play, net play." He says he foresees a renewed attempt to add online play to multiplayer classics and better modes of integration for co-op and versus games like Advance Wars. That'd be kind of cool. Send your move when you lock in, and your opponent will get a notification on it. So the whole asymmetric thing, that'd be kind of cool. So yeah, that's a good idea. I think the idea of making this thing a Connect app. I was almost wondering, I think I made some conjecture in the last episode on Sunday that maybe the C button isn't like a chat app. Maybe that is, like you're saying, is a sort of Connect app, a connection app that will send the video to your TV screen or connect other devices to it through Bluetooth. Maybe that's like the kind of the major connection app system. I don't know. but could be cool. I like that. I like that idea. And if you have any other predictions, feel free to hop into the Switch 2 section in the Discord and drop them in there, or just leave a comment here in the chat. And if you got it in the next 5 minutes, I'll probably get to it. If not, no more predictions. But yeah, that's it. Switch 2 announced. I think gaming wise, we're going to see a lot of ports. There, in fact, today there have already been like 1 or 2 indies have come out and said that their games are coming to the Switch 2. Granted, I think part of that is just they think they'll be able to port to it. But I do believe that Nintendo has sent dev kits to indie developers now. They have that back end, and they have that stuff ready to go. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I think we'll see starting in the next couple days here. I think we'll start to see the Switch 2 game announcements from folks saying that they're porting stuff to the Switch, and then leave the actual launch information for Nintendo in April to just kind of focus on the first party stuff and maybe a couple other third party announcements that day. So it's looking good. Switch 2, look at a little boop, boop, boop. It's like a little clap. All right, Switch 2, and that's the side quest. Thank you guys for joining. I think it was a lot of fun. It was an interesting day. It finally happened. We were ready to rake some people over the coals, but we were able to make it through. Thank you, Zero. It's appreciated. But we made it. Switch 2 announced, and now it's interesting because a bunch of us are going to PAX East, and PAX East is in May, and we're like, man, PAX East it's just gonna catch up to it. It's in May, but it seems like it's tomorrow. Well, the Switch 2 Direct is in April, a month before that, and we're like, God, that seems so far away. It's like 2 whole months away. 3 months away. Good Lord. Math. But yeah, we're gonna have probably have more conversation about this over the next several episodes as more information comes out, stuff leaks, games come out. There was a lot of other gaming news. I don't want to get into it right now. I'll save it for the rest of the team, maybe on our Sunday show or next week sometime. And we'll talk about some of the games we've been playing that aren't on the Switch 2 yet that we know of. I got some games on the Steam Deck that I've been looking at, so we'll check that out too. With that, again, SideQuesting.com, SideQuesting TV on YouTube and Twitch. You can find us, SideQuesting.com on Blue Sky. You can find me, DollyDemofsky.com on Blue Sky. But most importantly, go to SideQuesting.com, hop into the Discord, join, chat with everybody. You can join our Patreon. We now have a Patreon to help kind of support the site and the podcast because shit gets expensive. Inflation, but no, yeah, stuff's getting kind of expensive, so we're doing our best to keep our heads above water. We're seems to be one of the few websites out there that are still surviving, but we'll make it. But yeah, again, join the Discord at least. It's a lot of fun, a lot of great people, a lot of creative people, and everybody is good and awesome. With that said, thank you again. We'll see you in the next episode of the Side Quest. Bye, friends.